let's do this. Rob G, set up LeBron James, and basically, I don't know. He's not happy that the older guys, I guess, aren't crowning him, aren't endorsing him, aren't telling everybody that he's the greatest. Because of course, when they don't say that, he has an issue with the old heads.
Rob, LeBron is lucky that these comments came in the middle of the conference finals, because if this was like the middle of February, this may have been a big story. Now, LeBron's been having this war against the old heads, as he calls them, for a couple of years now. Specifically, it seems like with Chuck and Shaq and inside the NBA.
Yeah, it's those guys because they have a big platform and everybody watches. So that's why he has an issue with Charles and those guys.
So on the latest episode of Mind the Game, the latest season with him and Steve Nash, they did this whole thing.
I never miss Mind the Game. Okay.
I know you don't. And that podcast, or that video podcast, is meant to celebrate the game of basketball, which is interesting because at the end of the last episode, they'd already finished what they were going to talk about and the creativity of guys like Jokic and Brunson and so on and so forth. And after they're done recording, or they're done with the episode, Steve Nash says something to LeBron like, hey, I love what you said about the beauty of the game and, you know, how we should appreciate what we're seeing. For whatever reason, they stuck this at the end of the podcast, even though, again, they finished recording. And here's what LeBron said about the quote-unquote old heads and the way they view today's game of basketball.
And then, like, the generation, they talk so much about the game today. Yeah. And it makes you go back and watch the game back then, and it makes you not even want to appreciate it no more like I did when I was a kid. Like, it was like...
It's a great point. It's
like
a great point. When you go back and watch now, it doesn't feel as good as it did at the time.
It does not.
But it was great.
It was great.
The best on the planet.
It was great. Or, you know, these guys here say, we can't be friends. You're friends with that. Why are you smiling on the court? And then someone goes to find a clip of, like, you standing next to this guy during the finals, smiling and laughing. It's like, can we just be honest with everyone? Just be honest.
That's just typical LeBron. Because if they were singing his praises, he wouldn't have an issue with the old heads. And that's really what it boils down to. He can make it, but the idea that you wouldn't appreciate what other people have done previous is mind-boggling to me. Because it's only the NBA. We've talked about this before. It's only the NBA. The jealousy factor is through the roof. I just don't, like, I really, like, it is an era that was played, right? But you don't need to bash that like the J.J. Redick, right? Everybody's a plumber and a butcher to make this era feel better to you. That's what I don't understand. That was the best that was there at the time. There were only 8 teams in the NBA. There wasn't loaded rosters with guys who really couldn't play. Like I don't understand, because I don't believe LeBron would say the same thing if they were saying he's the GOAT and he's the best player they ever saw. I don't believe he would be going back. He just doesn't like when people aren't on board with him. So that's why he didn't like Charles Barkley, and he went after him because of the stuff that they've said. It's always a war against everybody who's just not on board. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to be on your team. Everybody's not going to think you're the greatest player ever. It's okay. It's okay. People say I'm a LeBron hater. I think he's the second best player of all time. That's a hater? A hater is Paul Pierce, who says he's not in the top 10. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you say somebody's second greatest of all time and I'm a hater? No, I watch both. And I do have that, is that I actually watched both players' career, okay? And a lot of the guys who are now, you know, got shows and talk, they didn't watch Michael Jordan. They didn't.
Yeah. A bunch of things, actually. One thing I'll disagree with you on, as I actually agree with quite a bit of what you said. One thing I'll disagree is I do think a part of LeBron isn't just mad that they hate on him. I do believe absolutely that plays a part of it. He's got an ego. He knows where he is and wants to be considered the greatest. But I also do believe that he hates that they talk about this current game, whether it's they shoot too many threes or they fraternize. And I do think because he views himself as the statesman, as the elder statesman, as the face of the league.
Can we
it's
stop
almost
one
like,
second? LeBron himself said they shoot too many threes.
No. I hear you. What I'm saying is I think – so if I make an indictment on the game, if I say the game ain't this or the game ain't that, under my leadership, right, under my – tenure as the face of the league, well, that's an indictment on me, and I think that's a part of it. Is I think he looking at himself as the governor of the league.
LeBron also came out against the in-season tournament, who didn't want that. I'm just saying these are things like, these are some of the things that people don't like about the game, and the threes particularly. That's all. They didn't play that kind of basketball.
But this is what I mean. But LeBron, where I will give him credit, is that we all know he's an extreme student of the game, right? So he has that, he respect. He comes right, oh, man, what Larry Bird used to do. He's one of those, I go out of my way to praise the older guys, to talk about what I studied, what I saw. He shows them respect, and he praises the younger guys. Go, Ant-Man, I love what KD's, or not KD, I love what SGA's doing. I love what Ant-Man. So he kind of is that person who bridges honor and respect to the old, ushering in the new. So I do think there's an element in him is like, if I'm feel like I'm doing it the right way, why are we getting crapped on? But here's what he has to understand, and this is where I agree with you. Everybody ain't going to like you,
yes,
right? And watch this, Rob. What he's dealing with is what Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, and everyone else is dealing with. Everybody's got a microphone now. See, he's not in the era where there was a Rob Parker and somebody else covering a beat, and then they write an article, and that was pretty much it. And then they have one weekly show maybe of some reporters. That's it. Buddy, we got 24/7 all over the place. Everybody. You have literally food brands that have networks. Do you know there's a Chick-fil-A network? Like, everybody has a network. Everybody has a microphone. Everyone has a podcast, including one of his good friends, Draymond Green. So my point is, I think he's paying attention too much to the volume out there, too much to what people are saying, too much to what everybody is, their ideas. And I think he's even exposing himself where we have sometimes less is more. It's okay to be a Jay-Z, a Michael Jordan, a Beyonce, in that they don't do every interview, Rob. They don't do every podcast. And I think LeBron shares his thoughts almost too much at times, where it's like, you don't have to jump into every conversation. You don't have to jump on this pod and jump on this interview and tweet this and Instagram that, because you open yourself up when you always have an opinion. Then we got to go back on your opinion. Then we got to talk about it on the sports debate shows. So I think there is a little bit of LeBron, I would say, one of his big homies, Jay-Z, maybe kind of fall back a little bit on always telling us what you think. You're projecting and doing every interview, every pod. You get what I mean? Because then it becomes back and forth, and some of that can be eliminated. But I just think we have more access to any and everyone's thoughts, and he needs to understand people are just getting their thoughts off. People are just getting their opinions off. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to like the game, and you can tune some of that out. And last point, where I strongly disagree with him, when I go back and watch those 80s and 90s, I love it. Boy, I love it. I go back and watch Lakers versus Celtics once a year. I go back and watch Last Dance once a year. I go back and watch Miller Time 30 for 30 with Reggie and the Knicks once a year. I watch the Bad Boys doc twice a year. So I strongly disagree. That makes me go.
And then Steve Nash is going to agree with him.
Yeah, Steve, you got to relax.
Come on, Steve. Really?
That was some fun hoops then. And it's fun hoops now to watch. And I can understand, maybe I don't know these people. I don't know all of them personally like LeBron does. Maybe he takes it personally because he knows them. But dang it, I love it. I go get my chips and guac, get me some chili cheese Fritos or whatever I'm having that day, and I enjoy it.
All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. And I guess it's real simple. Do you agree with LeBron? Do you not appreciate the old days because they're so out front and ripping the game the way it's played today, and they don't like it, and the older players have, talked about it, and do you agree with that? Agree with LeBron? It makes you not want to appreciate the old heads. Dion in Texas, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dion?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's been hard to get in this week, but y'all had a great show all week.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Hey, he is a statesman. He's been the face of the league for so long. I don't think that Man, I think a lot of these old heads, I think LeBron's the most scrutinized player in NBA history because since he's been playing basketball, he's had media, 24-hour news cycles, cameras.
He also has the Chosen on his back. Let's just on a tattoo.
But Rob, that's what I'm saying right there. You a grown man holding back. This dude was 17, 16 years old when he got the tattoo on his back. You're gonna hold it?
No, but I'm just saying. When you're the Chosen and you call yourself King James and all that, that comes with it. That's all I'm saying. It's not like he just came and he played basketball and he wound up being this. The Bulls didn't pick Michael Jordan up from the airport when he was drafted. I mean,
but he also
he wasn't the number one pick. He wasn't the number one pick.
Jordan, he did not name himself Air Jordan. That's just the nickname we gave him.
No, I know, right?
And we gave him King James because it's King James Bible. We gave him that name, King James. Yes, he put Chosen, but he was 17, so you can't hold that against him. And like I said, I think a lot of MJ, that's where he benefits, where he didn't have social media and microphones and cameras following him his entire life. And it's kind of still a mystery. So LeBron, it's an open book where like MJ and all those old dudes, old dinosaurs, we don't know anything about them. So
yes,
I think
we know stuff about them. It's different. It's definitely a different time. It's definitely a different time. Yeah, but also LeBron has benefited from that, the notoriety and all the attention from all the social media. It goes both ways.
Both ways.
Okay?
But also
it goes both ways. That's why, of course. But he also can put out a tweet to 5 million people or whatever. What does he have, Kelvin? 8 million followers or whatever?
8 million. What?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
If you're talking Instagram, but off the top of my head,
I don't know what it is. I'm asking.
It's probably 140, 50 million.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head.
I don't know
I'm
what
about to
the
look it
number
up right now and see.
All right, Greg in Florida.
159 million followers on Instagram.
There you go. That's my point. Greg in Florida, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Rob, great show, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Listen, I just got an opinion here. LeBron, he's done it all, okay? But it's time for him to retire. He's got businesses he's made. He's a billionaire. Let some of these other young guys come in and draw a paycheck. I mean, come on. He set the records. I'll listen to you.
All right. Well, I'm with you on the retirement thing.
I wanted y'all to retire that. It's not about to retire.
No, I know he's not. But I know he's not. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't say. When you stick around too long, this is what happens. Like seriously, you don't want to stick around too long. You don't, because we talk about it all the time. All of a sudden, you won 4 championships in 24 years, and it doesn't look as good or feel as good because you've been around too long. Or you have another year. You and Luka don't make it. You know what I mean? Don't get to the finals. Oh, he had Luka, and they couldn't even get to the finals. Like that starts to count against you.
No, my thing is too. I don't mind him still playing. He's 25, 8-8 is incredible. But my thing is,
but he ain't stopping nobody on the other end.
Oh, but I don't need him to always have to jump into everything. You know what I mean? Like jump into this, do this podcast. And I think it's okay to, as kind of fall back a little bit. Just you don't have to give us every bit of you all the time. Is what I would just say. Like we're getting his thoughts on Twitter. We're getting he's mad. I thought I was the Wash King. I just think it's okay for him to be like, dude, you're the face of the league still. You're still that guy. You're coveted in the community, and you don't always have to be on everything, talking about everything at all times. That would be my one little thing. He can play because he still competed at a high level. I have no problem with that, but that would be my thing as far as the exposure in every single conversation.